want you to solve the problem. Sometimes you just want somebody to go, okay. Like I feel like Bob will go in and goes, you got to do this, and if you do this, I'm like, I'm not asking you to solve it. I'm just like, just be there and just listen. Sometimes,
Yeah, that's just me. I'm automatic. Hey, a solution-oriented type of guy.
So is Bob.
I want to come up with the best logic to solve the issue, and let's dig in. Let's get it.
So sometimes I just say, okay, let me just make sure I understand. Are you asking me to solve, or are you asking me to listen? And I need to know.
But then that makes me mad too.
Yeah, because you come across as condescending.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Aside from my soul.
I don't know what it is, but like I feel like the secret to mine and Bob's marriage is we do sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Like the big stuff, we're on lockdown. Like
Right.
we've got it. Big things in life that have happened to us. I mean, we're gonna handle it and we're gonna do it together. But the trash thing will rock our world for a couple of days. Like I don't know, we do sweat the small stuff, and we recognize that it's small, but that's just our thing.
I mean, on the flip side, that's kind of how it's supposed to be, in a sense, because you guys, y'all can handle the big stuff, but when it comes down to the small stuff, y'all just can't. I'd rather be able to handle the big stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be sitting
Can't
here
have
if
it
we
both.
couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
So, I mean, that's
You
like
just got to minimize those small things in life.
Right.
Yeah. I know for a fact, as I've grown to be, that when there's contrast in a relationship, no matter how logical you sound, it's not going to come across to the other person as logic because at that moment, that person doesn't even respect what you're saying.
Right.
What do? You just basically take a step back and you let it work itself out. A person once told me, if you feel like you won the argument, you really lost, because when one person wins the argument, you both lose.
The skill is to make the other person feel like they won, but you still get what you want. That's the skill.
I like the way that sounds, but
it's hard.
It's hard. It's a hard maneuver. It's
right.
Because everybody's the expert, but yet when they're in it, it's always a different outcome. You got to be careful sometimes with what you say, because sometimes you end up being in that position where now it's time to show and prove. And are you ready, or do you have the fortitude to really be able to handle up, like you say? And
but there are things that
because it makes you uncomfortable, because you're used to, like you said, you're used to solving issues, and now you have to just take a step back and say, oh man, I can't do nothing. I just gotta sit here and take it. That's the hard part. But then that's how, since I'm a believer of God, that's how God deals with us sometimes. He says, even though you're trying to do your best, because I remember at one point I was going to 1,000 doors. I told myself to do 1,000 doors in a month. I'm handing out cards, do this. Even though I did that, I wasn't getting any results from it. And I was doing everything I said, but then God said, you know what? I'm in control. When it's time for me to allow you to be blessed, I will bless you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I realized at that moment that the only thing I can do is, plant the seeds and water them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in control of growing them, So that's kind of, what I do.
I agree, and it's you have a lot of metaphors and how you would look at all that, but I mean I completely agree with that. I mean activity, action is what will lead you to results. That's the process versus the outcome. The planting and watering of the seed is the result of the seed, the tree growing, right? So,
but it won't grow right then and there. So like if I plant seed right now and water it, and I say, okay, grow, grow tomorrow, grow 2 months. No, it ain't gonna grow when I want to grow.
Right. So to that point, you plant multiple seeds. That way you get a forest, right?
Exactly. Man, we're like surgeons. We got to give bad news all the time, and that's the most uncomfortable part.
The way that it has to happen is you have to get it out factually and quickly, right? So that you can invite people in to try to help solve something. Because if you try to control everything yourself, and make it all about yourself, trying to get to that ultimate outcome, you carry that burden too hard and too long, and ultimately it eats you up, and that's where you have heart attacks, that's where you have all those kind of things. So, for me, it's how quickly can we determine what the challenge is, and how quickly can we communicate that out to people and invite people in to help me solve it, so I can have multiple people working on something than just me, right? Because otherwise it won't, it doesn't last. And so the other part of that is when you invite people into the challenge and you ultimately help solve it, you actually can become the hero, right? Where most people try to solve it behind the scenes, and then they become the zero, right? Because then it's like, why didn't you tell me what happened? I mean, because it always pops up the other way.
Right. So going back to what you're saying, I've actually learned a lot. You always learn from experience, so you take them with you.
Most,
So I-
most loan officers,
Just want to get to yes.
they issue that pre-qual and all that, and but we've learned the hard way. You don't want to just do that, so you go slow to go fast.
You build the profile, you pull the credit, you run AUS, and you make sure that you got something you can work with, right?
Did you get us?
Yep.
All right.
Awesome, beautiful.